2-part series. As you can tell, I'm really good at this, but then again, I haven't I suck at this, so yeah, let's get started. In this game, we will make a prototype, where we will play around and fiddle around and have a good time and create the and then create it. Next, we will make the main game, which is pretty much tidying up the code, adding code, making sure it works right, and then actually programming the game. Next, we are going to then we're going to make a game over screen. And a menu. This one will be done in part 2. Just so you're aware, the first part is going to be over 50 minutes. Oh my gosh. At least I hope. It's going to be quite long. Then we're going to replace the art and add more enemies. More asteroids. So that's the game plan. Then we will tidy it up. So this is part 1 in a 2-part series. I don't know, maybe it will be a 1-part series. I have a feeling if I did this 1-part series, it will be really long. But let's get to making asteroids. Hello everybody. Tonight, I'm gonna do a small tutorial. I don't plan on doing anything big. I might just build a prototype, who knows. I'm sorry, I had a hamster, and when I sat down to start recording this tutorial, I looked into her cage and she was dead. My pet hamster is gone. So, forgive me if I seem groggy, or if I don't finish the game, or if I do this game in multiple parts. So the first thing we're going to do is open up Gdevelop, like always. That was the last one. I entered the last game into a game jam. Okay, I'm gonna create a new project. I'm going to select the folder. I'm going to call this asteroids, because we're making asteroids. So, create a new empty file and create our first scene. So, let's color it black. And let's get a ship. So go to sprites, add an animation, edit with Pesco. Let's color it white, because usually it's white. Hit apply. We're going to call it player. We're going to add a behavior, and we're going to give it the top down. We're going to give it 2 behaviors. We're going to give it the top down behavior. Don't allow diagonals. Let's see how it plays so far. I don't know. Okay, it depends on your preference. I don't like the rotate. Okay, apply. We want to add a new one. We're gonna install screen wrap. Close and add the behavior, and there we go. Now we have, but you're gonna see later that adding the screen wrap was actually kind of useless. So I'm actually gonna delete it. You can keep it, but it's gonna be useless in this game because of how we're gonna create this. We're gonna be doing a lot with bounce again. We're gonna be dealing with bounce and other stuff. So create a new sprite, we call it border. It can be any color you want because the player is not going to see the border as long as it's not the same as the background. Save, hit apply, and place your border all the way around. It doesn't have to look pretty because, like I said, the player's not gonna see it. I'm gonna go into game settings, property, uncheck this, hit apply, and so make sure this is invisible. And there we go. So add a new sprite, add an animation. We're gonna color to this. Since this is a prototype, it doesn't matter. Add a behavior. We're gonna install bounce. Hit install and hit close. I mean, you want to also add the behavior to the. So we have this. We're gonna call it asteroid. Hit apply. We're gonna. I thought I called it asteroid. We're also going to add another one. We can make this a square and color it red. Save. Hit apply. Now for the programming. Add a new event. We're going to program the shooting first, so call this one shooting. So when key press, so this is also going to be part experimentation because I don't remember how to do it. Space. So when key press space, we want to create object. We want to create bullet. And for the exposition, we're going to say player dot direction. For the Y, I think we can set this at a negative 100. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, that does absolutely nothing. We're gonna call this bullet to make it easier. Hit apply. Like I said, a lot of this is gonna be experimentation because I don't fully player.y. Let's see what that does. So okay, we want it to go to a location, so we want it to go to position equals player.x and player.y. You want to set both of the modification signs to equals, so let's see what that does. Okay, we now we want to add force. Add a force angle, let's say -90. No, wait, add force of 100. Okay, I'm gonna cave in and open up a previous tutorial. We figured out most of it though. I just don't remember what we're gonna do. I'm gonna say 300. Okay, maybe we want to set this to 0. Okay, for some reason it's not. Okay, we want to set the speed. Let's try 600. There we go. Okay, for some reason though, it's not. Okay, let me double check. So I'm gonna open up a previous file. This one had it. So let me see. Force angle. Oh. Okay, so this one was where we went wrong. We don't want to type player.x, direction.x. We want to play player.x. And here we want to say player.direction. And what did... Okay, so let's see what that does. Okay. Okay, something's wrong. Okay, let me open it up one more time. Let me open it up one more time to double check one piece of code, because for the most part we had it. If this thing will load for some reason. Let's see what happens. It's still loading for some reason. Gdevelop doesn't like it when you open up two Gdevelop windows for some reason. This is going to be the first part. Like I said, in the second part we're going to be cleaning it up. So open, let's see, okay. Alright, now clear bullet. Okay, so we actually want this to be a force angle. Player dot direction, and and what do we want the speed? Let's say 1,000. Hit OK. Press play, and we have. Okay, for some reason it's not. What the hell? Sorry for swearing. Okay, let's try instant. Okay, instant broke the game. Everything else should be fine. Why is it not? Okay, we're going to add a trigger once, and I am going to troubleshoot. So we already have it creating at player.x. For some reason it's not working when I play. Alright. Alright, let me see if I did this right. Okay, it says player.direction, but we already did that in. Okay. See, we did that. It should be working. Hit OK. You see, we should be getting something like this. Whenever the player moves up or down, you see it goes like that. Maybe, let me try one more thing. Player behavior. Allow diagonals. Seriously, the bullet should be following the thing. I will be right back and I will fix this. Okay, so I figured out why the bullet wasn't following the player. The problem was we need to have it on rotate for some reason. We can set the speed to like 50. Play around. is what I'm gonna say. That didn't work. Oh, that's because it's not checked. I think this sets it a little more. I wish one thing I wish about the thing was okay. I'm gonna set it back to. I'm gonna set the rotate speed to 200. Let's see what that does. Play around. So that way it's not okay. I'm also gonna allow diagonals. So the problem was the code was fine. It worked flawlessly. I'm actually gonna change the bullet sprite. I have downloaded because when you see the asteroid, it's small. Okay, for some reason that. So to fix that problem, we are going to say change the x-axis to plus 50. I'm gonna say 30. Nope, 10. Alright, now we want it to show up, so I'm also gonna say plus 10 for the y. So let's see what that does. That did absolutely nothing. I'm gonna say 50. Okay. Okay, if we can get it to at least the top. Okay. I'm gonna change that to 40. Closer. Let's say 60? No, 30. There we go. Now we have the problem of it's not working while it's so. I'm just gonna say plus 30. See what that does. Okay, that just completely messed up the game. I'm gonna get rid of this. In this scene, I'm gonna edit points, move the center here. Close and apply. Let's see what that does. That did absolutely nothing. Okay, so what I'm practically doing is I'm trying to center it. It don't have to be perfect. This is a prototype. Now we have this asteroid that does absolutely nothing. So for this, I'm going to create a new group call it asteroid. At the beginning of the scene, I want to add a force angle of, let's say, 59 or something. I want 300. Hit OK, and then when the player, when the asteroid is in collision with the border, we want it to bounce off. Hit OK. Now let's see what happens. Let's see what that does. Okay. Okay, we want it to be a permanent. Let's see what that does. And we have an asteroid that bounces off. I want it to be slower though, so I'm gonna say 50 pixels. Nope, that's too slow. It's all about finding what speed you want for your game. So press play. Alright, that's good enough. Add a new event. Now when the bullet is in collision with the asteroid, we want to do two things. So we want the asteroid to delete, and we also want the asteroid to respawn. So we're gonna say change position equals, and we're gonna type in random, and we're gonna type in a random number. I'm gonna say 500, and I'm gonna set this one to 75. And always make sure you set your modifiers. So let's see what happens. Okay, for some reason it did not create. Oh, we don't want it to change position. We want to click on the asteroid. We want it to create an object. We're gonna type in random. We're gonna choose a number. I'm gonna say 500. I'm gonna say, no, actually I'm gonna say the width. Alright, and the height. So I hope I have these in the right order. If I don't, so sue me. Hit OK, press play. And for some reason, it's not moving though. So I'm gonna move that up. Okay, for some reason that's not moving. So I'm gonna copy this, put it here, see what that does. There we go. We have a respawn, an asteroid that respawns. So this little prototype, you can mess around with this. I'm gonna add what was it, 40 and 10? No, this was 10. And 10. Now, there's some more stuff I want to do. Okay, so that didn't work, so I'm gonna say 50. Alright, and I'm gonna say 40. That still didn't work, so let's try getting the x-axis down, so I'm gonna say 30. Okay, so -10. You gotta play around with this. Alright, so I'm gonna delete that. Okay, that did a little bit, so I'm gonna say -15. That still did. Okay, I'm gonna say 20. And then this, I'm gonna say -10. Okay, that worked a little bit. I'm gonna say 20 there. 25. So we have, okay, that looks a hell of a lot better. It's not exactly perfect, but it looks a hell of a lot better. So we have our asteroid, but what good is an asteroid if it can't do damage? Okay, now I kind of miss Sam's. I kind of miss Samantha running around the wheel. No. But anyway, I'm gonna create an empty sprite. I'm gonna drag it in and I'm gonna put it in the center of the screen, because in asteroids you always start in the center of the screen. I'm gonna call it start. And I am going to make a new group, call it start and lives. We're going to add lives, so I'm going to add a new condition. I'm going to say when the player is in collision with the asteroid, we're going to change the position. So I'm going to go to player, change position, equals to start dot x equals to start dot y. And now whenever you run into the asteroid, you're going to go back to a certain position. I'm going to, since our ship can go through the wall, through the border, like they're not even there, I'm just gonna go ahead and re-add that one behavior. I'm gonna re-add the screen wrap, because in asteroids you can add you can wrap around the screen. I'm gonna add another asteroid, see what happens. Okay, last time I was doing something like this where I had the asteroid. Okay, there it is, it broke. So what I'm gonna do is later I'm actually going to create a new asteroid. So I'm gonna duplicate the asteroid, call it asteroid 2. Okay, I probably spelled that wrong. I'm gonna add a new group. No, I don't want to do that. That's for comment. You can add comments in this thing. I'm gonna add a new group. I'm gonna call it asteroid 2. We are going to copy this and paste it. Change that to asteroid 2 and change everything to asteroid 2. And I'm gonna copy this, paste it, alright, where did I add that collision with the bullet? Oh, right here, but let's see what happens. Oh, I didn't add asteroid 2, so let's add it. As you can tell, it's kind of glitchy. Alright, that's good. I'm gonna start it over here. I'm gonna add one more thing. I want the asteroids to bounce, so I'm gonna say asteroid 2 is in collision with asteroid 1. We want it to bounce. So asteroid 2, we're gonna bounce off of asteroid 1. We're gonna copy this. We're gonna paste it, drag it up to the first asteroid area, and we are going to change it to asteroid 1 is in collision with asteroid 2. And everything should work. Okay, for some reason. Oh, I forgot that this one. So you'll want to copy everything from the first asteroid. Otherwise, it won't work correctly. There we go. We now have 2 working asteroids. Let's edit this though. I want the other asteroid to be going at another angle, so I'm gonna say 9, and let's say -30. And you now have a working prototype for an asteroid game. You can now start adding sound effects and all that. So what I'm gonna do is, when the player is in collision with asteroid 2, I'm gonna add a sound. So I'm gonna play a sound. I'm gonna play game music, sound effects. I'm gonna add an explosion sound. So I'm gonna copy this and add it to our first one. I'm gonna give it a volume though. I'm gonna give it the volume of 40 because I noticed that doesn't work. Anything higher, that works. Anything higher and your ears will bleed. I used to set it to 70 and you could barely hear anything. There we go. Now if you notice though, there's one thing, we need to copy this one and paste it up here and do the same thing for asteroid 2. So when it collides with either asteroid, it will go back. I'm also gonna add a sound to that. Okay, this might not be a 2-part tutorial, so anyway, I'm gonna just change it to, I'm gonna do a coin pickup sound. Change it to 40. Our little game of asteroids. I am going to add a scene variable, a global variable actually. I'm gonna call it score. I'm gonna set it to 0. This is for you, Samantha. So when the bullet is in collision with the asteroid, we're gonna change the global variable to other actions, variables, value of a global variable, score, plus we're gonna add 1. We're gonna paste it to the other one, but you can't see the score, so I'm gonna add a score. I'm gonna call it score. I'm gonna color it red. Change the font. You don't have to do this, but I'm gonna do it. I had a space. I'm gonna drag it into my scene. Now there's a problem, it's too small, so I'm gonna change it. There we go. I'm gonna change the Z order to 0. And now we're ready to modify the text. So add a new group. call it score. I'm going to add an event and add an action. We're going to click on our score, modify text, equals, click this button here, variables, text of a global variable. I'm going to choose the score variable, and right here I'm going to type in quotation mark, score, colon, space, close quotation mark, space, and plus. So that way it will show. So here's our game. A score, but why don't we have a so what good is a score if your player doesn't get punished for hitting the asteroid? So I'm gonna create a new scene. I'm gonna call it oh come on, I didn't want that, sorry. I'm gonna call it game over. Game over. There we go. Okay, I think this will be a second part, but anyway, we're gonna add a new score, new global variable. I'm gonna call this one lives. And I'm gonna set it to 3 this time. We're gonna give them 3 lives because that's a traditional thing. So we're gonna create a new text. We're gonna call this one lives. Hit apply. I'm gonna color it red. How high did I have this one? 32. So a thing to make it look nice is everything is certain things are the same. So hit apply, and now we have our lives. 1. So let's get going. So in our new scene, we want it, we want to decrease the life. So add an action. So go here and find your starts and lives. Choose one, go to action. We're going to go to other actions, variable, value of a global variable, lives, might, and we're going to subtract 1. Hit OK. Just as a precaution, I'm going to add a trigger once. I'm also going to add that to the other one, and there you have it. You have your lives. But right at the moment, lives doesn't do anything. So I'm going to rename this score section to text. We're going to add a new event, add a new action. We're going to choose our lives text, modify the text. We're going to set it to equals. We're going to click this button again, go down to variables, text of a global variable, and select lives. Hit apply and hit OK. But what happens if you run out of lives? Because here you run out of lives, you can go into God mode and just get negative lives. So what's the point? Okay. For some reason. Alright, so first off I'm gonna edit this lives. Now let's check it. There we go. So I'm gonna add a new group. I'm gonna call it lives. I'm gonna say at the beginning of the scene. I'm gonna type in at the beginning of the scene. Okay. I'm gonna set the lives to 0. So other actions, global variable, value of a global variable, value of a score. I'm gonna do both score and lives. So equals to 0. The score should equal to 0. So that way when it comes back it will reset. So I'm gonna add a new event, copy and paste this. And I'm gonna copy and paste this. But this time we're going to set it to lives as the variable and change the lives to 3. So whenever the scene restarts, it will reset the variable. So let's add a new event. We are going to say to add a condition, go to other conditions, go to variables, global variables, value of a global variable, lives. We're going to choose equals, and then if lives equals to 0, we're going to change the scene to game over. So in the action, change scene, type in change scene. To game over. Hit OK. So we have a game, we lose 3 lives, and it changes scene. So in the next video, I will explain how to add 2 things. I will explain how to do the game over scene properly, because I feel in the past I've been kind of lazy at that. I'm also gonna show you how to make a menu for this game. And after that, you can add your own art, you can add more asteroids, but remember, with every asteroid you add, you gotta recode it. You can't, because copy and pasting, for some reason, copy and pasting another asteroid doesn't work for some reason. You can edit all this code. This is all your lines of code. We have written in this short period of time quite a lot. This is quite a lot to recreate asteroids. Then on top of that, you have all the behaviors. But there was no behavior for bullet. There is a behavior for bullet, but I don't know how to use it. So that's quite a lot. We covered quite a lot of code in this tutorial. If you need anything explained, anything at all, if I went over something too fast, or I did not explain something clearly enough, or you just don't know what I'm doing, please leave a comment on what I should go over. Also, leave a comment on what tutorial I should do next. What should I create next? Should I recreate Space Invaders? Should I show you how I made a Zombie Down? Should I touch up on art design, art or music? What should I do? So please comment. But like I said, for one sitting, we have written quite a lot of code. In the next video, I will go over the game over scene and the menu, and then hopefully I will show you a finished product. This game, when it's finished, I might add it to my portfolio. If you don't know, I do have a portfolio. It's got quite a few. It's go to the site husky-10.com. This is my portfolio. I have quite a few games in my portfolio. Some of them were made with, quite a few of them were made with Gdevelop, and quite a few of them were made with Scratch. I do have one game where I did all the programming. I learned Batch for a little bit. Also, I am on itch.io. Just look up Husky10 and you will get quite a small selection of my games, not all of them. I had to start putting them up here because my site for some reason wouldn't allow me to do it. Wouldn't allow me to do certain things. Hello World and Detour you gotta pay to play, but everything else is free. I do mostly arcade games, if you haven't noticed, and the occasional platformer. This one was before I figured out how to reset a variable. So there's this bug in this game. It's called Protect the Ball. There's a bug. The tutorial score is the same score as the main game score, so whatever score you get in the tutorial, it will add to your main game score. And the main game, if you die, it does have a replay button, but it does not reset any variable. You can just keep going at the same score. I have yet to perfect it. The version I showed you how to make is a little better perfected. So, I also joined a game jam. It's called It's So Bad It's Good. It closes in a day. Join it, add to it. I want to see what you make. My submission is right there. Play it, vote. I have done a few game jams in the past. So, anyway, thank you for watching.